The con man, Tony Khan, is going all pay-per-view on us today, but he's not doing double or nothing. He's doubling down because he says it makes sense to air the all-in footage even though it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It's been a bad couple of weeks for Tony Khan. In fact, it's been a bad few months. In fact, it's probably been a bad year, possibly 2 years for Tony Khan. AEW is just on the decline. It's getting worse and worse. The shows are getting lower in quality. They're getting lower in viewership. Pretty much everything AEW could go lower in, they're getting lower in. Attendances are embarrassing. They're having to shoot only 25% of the arenas, of the buildings, so that they're not showing all these empty seats. Now, what is AEW doing well in? What is AEW doing better than WWE? Probably spending money, probably signing free agents for a shitload of cash that aren't worth nothing. That's probably the only thing that Tony Khan is doing better right now than WWE, but that's not exactly a good thing. Wasting millions on Ospreay, Okada, and all those people is definitely not a good thing. But another thing that Tony Khan did that wasn't good was air the all-in footage. So he showed it on Dynamite. Now, it was in response to CM Punk's interview, basically saying that Tony Khan is not a leader. AEW is not the place that he was sold. He said he thought it was a good place to go and work. He thought it was a company that was interested in making money, a company that was interested in growing. And CM Punk quickly realised once he was there, look, this company's doomed. This company's full of children. It's got an owner who's not a boss, who's not a leader, who's not a man. So yeah, CM Punk basically gave the rundown on AEW. Tony Khan wasn't happy, and he said he was going to show this footage from All In. So I'm only assuming that Tony Khan thought by showing this, it would maybe paint CM Punk in a negative light. However, pretty much everything CM Punk said actually happened in the clip. So all Tony Khan did was prove that CM Punk was telling the truth. That he proved CM Punk was being honest about the entire thing. And we look at the altercation, there really wasn't much there. You've got the Young Bucks saying how this could have destroyed the company, how this could have brought down the biggest pay-per-view of all time. It's like, how? It was literally a scuffle between two guys. You know, it was a push, a headlock, and it got broke up in less than a couple of seconds. I mean, how could this have ruined anything? Yet the Bucks are trying to incorporate this into their feud, into their storyline with FTR. It's embarrassing. The Bucks are saying they lost because this happened. I mean, really? What, the Bucks lost to FTR because CM Punk got some jobber in a headlock? Are you fucking serious? Then FTR came out and cut a promo on the Bucks, and they were like, why are you even showing this? And that was probably the only thing that made sense. The fact that FTR were confused that this was being showed, because honestly, man, this should not have been showed. It didn't make any sense. But Tony Khan has come out. He's received a lot of criticism. Instead of taking it on the chin, instead of just accepting that it wasn't a good idea, because let's be honest, he's removed it from the YouTube clips. If you go and watch the YouTube clip of the Bucks showing this, they don't show the footage, and that's because I believe Tony Khan knows it's a mistake. He's edited it out of that, but instead of just admitting it, instead of just letting it die and go under the carpet, go under the rug or whatever, Tony Khan, he won't do that. He's adamant that he made the right decision. So he was on the Chris Russell show, and he was asked if he regrets the decision to air the footage, and of course he doesn't. This is Tony Khan's response. He says, quote, I think it made a lot of sense. First of all, the Young Bucks FTR ladder match is coming up at AEW Dynasty for the World Tag Team Championships. This is the 4th chapter in FTR Young Bucks. I believe they're the 2 greatest tag teams in wrestling, the 2 best on the planet. The last time they wrestled, Young Bucks FTR 3 was at Wembley Stadium, AEW, All In. A lot happened that day. Those guys, at one point, they were the 3rd match on the pay-per-view, and at one point it looked like we were going to have to call them up and they were going to have to wrestle the first match. They ended up going in on that spot they were in, but the Young Bucks said the whole day, everything that happened, it affected their mental preparation. They weren't able to do prayers before the match. They were very stressed out. They slipped on the banana peel lost the match and they blame FTR. And what happened at Wembley Stadium, in hindsight, that's why they refused to shake FTR's hand. We've seen the Young Bucks change a lot. We saw them get really dark during the retirement run of Sting. They've only gotten darker and more twisted. That's why they felt like they should play the tape. It was fascinating to see after the tape played the reaction Jack Perry got at New Japan. He got the reaction of a superstar. That is not altogether unexpected, and it's something very interesting. Perhaps a side effect of this. Jack Perry, already a big star in wrestling. Really, the way the crowd connected with him in Chicago, that was interesting. It leaves a lot of intriguing going into AEW Dynamite and AEW Dynasty. End of quote. So Tony Khan thinks that Jack Perry is now a superstar because he got grabbed in a headlock by CM Punk. He thinks that the Bucks weren't able to win it all in because they weren't able to pray. He actually says that. He says the reason the Young Bucks lost is because of everything that happened that day. It affected their mental preparation and they weren't able to pray before the match. I mean, seriously, the Young Bucks, when have they ever prayed? When are the Young Bucks this religious tag team that fucking pray? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, Tony Khan completely clutching at straws here. The whole segment was dumb. Showing the footage was dumb. It didn't cause the Bucks to lose against FTR, and there was no need to bring this up. It wasn't the reason they didn't shake hands. This is just fucking trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and Tony Khan is failing to make it. He needs a better cook. He needs better ingredients. He's not doing nothing good in the kitchen. But to try and say that because CM Punk grabbed Jack Perry in a headlock, it could have brought down the entire company, and that the Young Bucks' mental health was affected and they weren't able to pray and they were very stressed out, and then they slipped on the banana peel. I mean, are you serious, Tony Khan? Why? Because two people backstage were pushing each other and grabbed each other in a headlock? I mean, how many times in wrestling have we probably had physical altercations that were way worse than what we've seen at All In? Probably happens all the time. A lot of times it just doesn't even get reported about, or it's not even a big deal. I mean, Tony Khan is literally making out as if CM Punk murdered the Young Bucks' entire family or something on this day. What a load of shit. He didn't do nothing. He pushed Jack Perry. What's that got to do with the Bucks? Who cares if they were pulled forward? Big whoop. Big wow. I mean, it happened at the arena. How could it affect their whole fucking day? It's not like it happened pretty close to CM. I mean, it happened. It couldn't have happened the whole day. I mean, there wasn't even that amount of time. You know, it literally happened just before CM Punk went out. So it doesn't. This explanation here from Tony Khan. I mean, even if you lie, even if you pretend it makes sense, the timeline doesn't even make sense. Tony Khan is saying the whole day was ruined. I mean, it didn't happen literally just until the pay-per-view started. So it did not ruin the whole day. There was no preparation ruined. I mean, this is Tony Khan completely talking shit. Let's just say you tried to paint CM Punk in a negative light while popping a rating at the same time. That's what Tony Khan did it for. It was nothing to do with the Young Bucks or FTR or anything like that, or trying to get a fucking banana peel or anything. It was simply Tony Khan thinking, damn, CM Punk's talking shit about me. I'm going to show this footage from All In and try and get the ratings up while I do so. I mean, that's what it was, okay? The Young Bucks didn't lose because of CM Punk. CM Punk and Jack Perry's got nothing to do with Young Bucks versus FTR4. It's so dumb. It's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in wrestling. And as you know, wrestling, we got a lot of dumb shit happening in it. But this is really, really bad. Anyway, guys, that is it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I can't believe that Tony Khan is came out. I mean, it's one thing justifying it. It's one thing saying he doesn't regret it. But it's like the more he tries to spin this, it's just that the more he's digging the hole deeper. You know, he's in a deep hole filled with shit right now, and he's just digging himself deeper. Just move on. Just say I don't regret it. I thought it would be fun to show. I thought it would get people interested, and it did. You know what? Some people were interested in it. Fair enough, Tony Khan. That's it. I don't think it was worth the little pop in the ratings you got, but fair enough. But let's not justify it here and say that it was because the Young Bucks lost a whole day of preparation and they couldn't pray before the match. What a load of shite that is. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Tony Khan, the Khan man, the con man. I mean, the guy keeps us entertained and he gives us news for the channel, so fair play to him. But what a fucking loser he is. Till next time, peace.